every day across the globe. Extraordinary scenes like these are being recorded by members of the public.
He's hanging out! Oh my God!
You have seconds to decide what you're going to do. Are you going to live or are you going to die?
From dizzying heights
Oh my God, she's gonna...
and death-defying stunts to close encounters with the animal kingdom.
With more people than ever before carrying devices like these, breathtaking events can now be captured as the drama unfolds.
Now we've been around the world with our cameras to meet those who've documented some of the most incredible and spectacular stories ever.
And there's this enormous pain. Would it actually just drop down like a stone to the ground? We'd all be killed.
These are the moments you would never believe if they hadn't been caught on camera.
It's a well-known fact that gusty weather can often prove itself to be an extremely disruptive force of nature, and the clips you're about to see will blow you away.
Last year, one of the strongest storms to hit the UK and Ireland created havoc as Doris raged across the country. Dubbed a weather bomb due to its sheer intensity, the 80-mile-per-hour gales battered planes coming into land at Birmingham Airport, putting the incredible landing skills of their pilots to the test. Meanwhile, in Norway, Jostein Eikanger captured this case of foul play on camera when a dust devil interrupted his son's football match in Lillehammer. This type of occurrence is known as a vejrfenomen, meaning weather phenomenon. Over in the United States, what started as a day of celebration in the town of Chatsworth, Illinois, very nearly ended in tragedy.
The town of Chatsworth was celebrating their 150th anniversary. Everybody was upbeat because they were all excited about the celebration that they were having, and it was just getting started that day.
Kay Bonner couldn't believe her luck when she won a hot air balloon ride in a raffle, which she gave as a gift to husband Dwayne.
That's my first time ever in a hot air balloon, and it was perfectly calm. If you would have dropped a feather, it would have went straight down.
Usually, hot air balloons can only fly in wind speeds of less than 10 miles per hour, and the conditions look perfect. Balloon enthusiast Wayne R. Germain was in the crowd, watching the takeoff.
I had my camera on the ready. Something said, Wayne, press that record. And that's when that gust of wind just come out, like God himself. You see a man who was trying to hold the basket down. He was in the air about 5 foot, and he lets go and tumbles.
The other balloon came over and hit our balloon, and then they went up and cleared it, thank goodness. But that knocked us off, you know, then we were, well, basically out of control.
They're trying to get air up so we can get up.
A hot air balloon the size of a 2-story house. I've never seen him crash in like that. It scared the bejeebus out of me.
No! We got off the ground, and I'm like, okay, we got this. But when we came down, I hit my head pretty hard.
Oh!
No!
Stay in, stay in, stay in!
Dwayne's wife Kay and the rest of the crowd could only stand and watch as the pilot struggled to control the balloon.
Then we kind of got back up in the air, and I thought, okay, we're going to be okay. But we came back down again, and we hit pretty hard.
Oh! He's hanging out! Oh, my God!
No!
Oh, my God, he's hanging!
Went down.
Did he fall?
And I could see that was the pilot dangling, upside down with a string in his hand. I thought, this man's going to die. You know, I'm documenting a death.
He was hanging by his knees, probably 30 foot in the air. I mean, if he fell at that point, that's not going to be good.
He's gonna blow up.
Please, please, please.
He had the wherewithal to pull that cord, which lets the hot air escape, brings the balloon down. But he pulled it so hard that that balloon just dropped like a rock. Boom.
Please, please. Oh, my God. Oh!
The balloon was airborne again, but Duane and his fellow passenger were on their own.
When the pilot fell out, everybody is just like, oh my God, what's going on? What's going to happen? How are they going to get down?
Oh, Jesus. Oh, oh my gosh.
What do you do when you are the person in that hot air balloon with no experience? None. They were heading toward trees and power lines. You have seconds to decide what you're going to do. Are you going to live or are you going to die?
I was thinking, I don't know what to do, but then I heard somebody yell, pull the rope. Well, I didn't know what rope they were talking about. That's the first time I've ever been in a hot air balloon. So I just let us float until we got over an open field, then I pulled the rope and came down.
Oh, my gosh.
When we stopped, we hit pretty hard. My hip was bruised pretty bad, and I had scrapes on my back. But they offered to take me to the hospital, and I said, no, I'm okay.
I think he was very lucky, and we were all very lucky that it turned out the way that it did. But yeah, I will not be bidding on any hot air balloons and rides in the future. I think I'm done with that. This was the one and only, so.
Thanks to the wonders of modern technology, we can get up close and personal with nature, more so than ever before. But some of the best moments are captured when we least expect it.
When explorer Eddie Gault left his camera unattended at the Oster Rookery in Antarctica, little did he know that a couple of jokers would seize the opportunity to take a selfie. Emperor penguins are known to be social and curious. This pair certainly proving the point by giving us a bird's eye view.
I think we got a garfish, dude.
Every fisherman has a story of the big catch that got away.
Oh my God!
And for Lance Burgos, he was glad it did.
That is a big gator.
The American alligator packs 80 sharp teeth into those jaws and has one of the most powerful bites of any living creature. Thankfully, attacks on humans are relatively rare.
Gotta get your blood flowing.
Set 9 miles northwest of Edinburgh, the Firth of Forth is home to 3 of Britain's man-made marvels. But as well as these spectacular bridges, visitors are drawn here for its natural wonders too.
The Forth Estuary is a great place to see wildlife. It's sheltered waters on the east coast of Scotland. The weather doesn't have to be fantastic weather. There's seals, puffins, whales. There's a whole massive variety of wildlife there.
But what Alistair and his fellow kayakers didn't know was that on today's trip, they'd have an extra companion along for the ride.
I just hit the seal with my paddle. It was that close. See if he comes up again. Just a wee grey seal. Oh, there he is. Right beside me. He's followed us for about a mile and a half. There he is.
The Atlantic grey seal may look cute, but they can also be vicious predators and are not to be taken lightly.
Come in. Hello. Hope that's recorded. Leave my kayak. No. Be good. Don't chew anything.
The seal started climbing all over the back of the kayak. I was a bit apprehensive. I didn't know what its intentions were. It's a very heavy seal. It was probably 90 kilos. So I thought if it climbs onto the back of my kayak, then I would have went over.
Be nice.
But as it got closer, I thought there was no aggression shown. It was just being inquisitive. So I wasn't as nervous then. I thought that was the end of it. Little did I know it was going to continue like this.
Oh, jeez, oh. I'm doing a wheelie. brilliant, eh?
Seriously, hold on to a pair of us because we're both.
They look cute, curly, but they're wild animals. I didn't want to be a threat, so I was trying to keep my voice calm. I might have looked calm, but I was petrified on the inside, I can assure you.
Luckily, this chap just wanted to catch a lift.
What balance he's got, because I'm hanging on you for dear life.
This kind of interaction with a seal is incredibly rare, and thankfully for Alistair, this magical moment was caught on camera.
I've been kayaking now for about 30 years, and this had never happened to me. I'd never heard of it, so I was terrified that I hadn't pressed record and missed the whole experience, because no one would have believed me. It was a one-off.
Ready?
Hi-yo.
Hello.
What's he doing?
Just hanging out.
Oh. So cool. This is awesome.
Coming up after the break.
You can actually hear me struggling to breathe.
A kayaker finds himself in deep water.
That was the point where I really knew I was in a bad spot.
And community spirit comes to the rescue.
It's just a win for humanity. I'm glad it went the way it did.
Millions of us share a love of the great outdoors, and for some, the perfect activity is one that satisfies a need for speed.
Like the competitors in this jet boat taking part in an organised race on the Salmon River in Idaho. But the annual event was turned upside down.
Oh! Oh my God! Oh my! Go!
Forcing the two passengers to abandon ship.
There you go.
Luckily, the pair lived to power through another day. Preparing for a cave exploration, this abseiler put a foot wrong when he got distracted during the group safety talk. Narrowly avoiding the sharp rock face, he might want to think again before dipping his toe into his next adventure. Our next story takes us to the Adirondack Mountains in New York, where kayaker Sean Rist had an extremely close call in the white water rapids of the Bouquet River, along with his friend Aaron Baker.
It was an amazing day. This river's very, very flashy, meaning that it's a really steep area where water just flows out fast. I'd been there before. I'd run that drop before. It was great. First 90% was amazing. One of the most fun runs I've ever done. It's what we call the boulder garden, where you're just dodging rocks and just going with the flow, and there's really good drops. Going into the end of it, I was very high. We just crushed 4 miles of river and feeling really strong, really good. So it was a no-brainer that I'd do that last drop and end the day on a high note.
Following the recent torrential impact of Hurricane Irene, however, the river was high and the currents unpredictable.
Don't get nervous, it'll be fine.
Sean was plunging himself into deep water under the watchful eye of friend Aaron.
Normal situation, I would just kayak over the lip. The river was about 4 times what it should have been.
Oh, it's fighting.
The water level was just perfect enough to create this horrible whirlpool. Really strong, but then I get around that first kind of corner where I needed to exit and I wasn't able to, and I realized that in order to get out of this thing, I had to paddle uphill. So it wasn't just uphill, but the current was against me too. So I tried to ride it out, and that's the point where I got stuck against the wall and flipped. Flipping is normal, it happens all the time, so just flip myself back up, no big deal. And then I got flipped again. getting forced against that wall where I couldn't move. The pressure of the water was just pinning me. I had to exit out of the boat underwater. Knew I wasn't getting out of there alone, scrambling at the rocks, trying to grab the rocks, just totally stuck. There's no way out. Every pass around, I would get about 80% underwater and 20% above water. So it just was this cycle of just kind of washing me around and just slowly drowning me. I barely got any air, and you can actually hear me struggling to breathe. That was the point where I really knew I was in a bad spot.
Help!
Thankfully, my friend knew I was in trouble and started running.
John's in a bad circle.
Enlisting the help of 2 fellow kayakers, Aaron knew they had to act fast.
John, it'll pull on you really hard, man. Hold on. John, take his arm. Deep breath, dude. Got him? Okay.
As soon as I felt like I was safe, the flood of gratitude was insane.
You all right, brother? Thank you. Thank you.
It was just amazing. To have these 2 guys I just met and my good buddy save my life was just incredible.
Thanks, buddy.
If it wasn't for the 3 of them, I wouldn't be here today. I'm so thankful that I'm alive.
You live, and that is what matters.
On to another lucky escape caught on headcam next, as a British caver found himself in a tight spot in rural Lancashire.
As an experienced caver of more than 15 years, Bob Johnson went with some friends to take on one of Britain's most challenging underground systems. And as always, went equipped with his trusty helmet camera to capture the adventure.
The cave we decided to go in was called Lost John's Cave, which is based roughly on the Lancashire-Yorkshire border. It was chosen because it's a big cave, it's got a varied amount of exposure to it, it's easy parts and there's difficult parts to it.
The group made the 4-hour descent to the bottom and had just 20 minutes left to go before they made it out to the other side. But first, they had to navigate a tricky section known as the tube.
The tube is a narrow passage, 250 metres underground, 15 feet long. There's a stream going through it at all times, which floods and it curves round. I went through third. I think I was third. There was 2 in front of me and 2 guys behind me.
There's someone on top of us now. Stuck.
I got stuck in the tube due to its size and my size and the way I was positioned.
Help me! Help!
I somehow got my arms in the wrong way around and I couldn't push myself forward or push myself backwards.
Help! No, seriously, help! I'm physically wedged. Did he get higher? Slightly.
I was a cork in a bottle, in effect. There was no way for the water to get past me.
Seriously, I'm stuck. Relax. Relax a bit.
I started to panic. I just couldn't move. I don't know why I started to panic. Maybe I thought my days were numbered.
Just relax. Get the air in, get the air in.
I was cold. I was physically tired. Thought I was going to die.
Even now, Bob still finds it difficult reliving that moment.
I can't really watch it without thinking back on it. I'm really worked up now. You can see the panic in my face. Yeah, I can't even watch that now. No kayak. Just let pause it there.
Eventually, Bob's fellow cavers managed to free him.
The guys in front shouted out to the guys behind me that I was stuck. And they made a human chain and they pulled me out backwards. Unfortunately, getting out of the cave, it took about 4.5 hours. But it was a bit of a euphoric moment to get out of there, knowing I was safe. I've just got to put it behind me.
Now, thanks to meteorological forecasting, the cold weather can be as predictable as it's pretty. But even those who are well prepared can be taken by surprise.
In Switzerland, gamekeeper Romano Salis came a cropper when his pickaxe picked a little too hard.
Bueno, expected unexpected.
Across the Atlantic in British Columbia, these Spanish mountaineers were visiting the Rocky Mountains when this happened. Caught unaware by an avalanche, the group were just feet away as a torrent of snow and debris barreled past them while they stood and watched in awe. In the wild west state of Wyoming, tucked away between some of North America's most spectacular mountain ranges, is the suitably named town of Alpine.
Alpine is pretty well known for its winters. It's a very snowy place. Last year we had one of the roughest winters on record, and it was brutal on the wildlife especially. It was hard on the folks in Alpine, but the wildlife really took the brunt of it.
Among the animals in peril that winter was a herd of wild elk, who ran into trouble as they attempted to cross the town's frozen reservoir.
During that annual migration, there were several weak spots in the ice as elk were trying to move on to the Alpine feed ground, and they broke through. There's no mistake that they were in a dire predicament.
But as the wildlife rangers arrived on the scene, something extraordinary was happening. Dozens of commuters on their way to work had stopped their cars and were mounting a dramatic rescue mission to save the elk.
By the time we arrived, we had up to 20 to 25 people on the ice trying to extract 14 or 15 elk.
My first instinct was I was worried about the people on the ice. When you've got that many elk in a small confined space, someone goes in there with them, we've got trouble all day. But it's an intense situation, not a lot of time to think or react, so you gotta just go with it.
The public took the matter into their own hands, trying to chip through the ice, cut through the ice, or whatever it took to create a pathway for those elk to swim towards the shoreline where we could extract them. We were concerned about getting those elk out of the ice before they succumbed to the cold, hypothermia, and that stress. People started showing up with lassos, lariats, and ropes, and dragged those elk to the side of the ice where 4 to 5 people were able to pull the elk onto the ice and then release it.
Thanks to this group of good Samaritans, all the elk were able to make it safely to the feeding ground.
It would have been much more difficult for the two of us to extract those elk from the ice. And had we not the support of the community, they would have all perished.
Looking back, I'm glad it went the way it did. It's just a win for humanity. I think it's just a great thing to have happen. And I'm showing that we really do care about these critters.
Watch her! Watch her!
There are plenty more unbelievable moments still to come.
A friendly, wild encounter takes a serious turn.
One end, she was holding Crystal. She didn't want to let go.
and a paraglider tackles a collision head-on.
I realize I've got a helmet on. I may as well use it for what it's designed for.
The chance to see a beautiful wild animal in its natural habitat is high on many people's bucket list. But if you've outstayed the welcome of a potentially dangerous and unpredictable creature, don't be surprised if they let you know about it.
Gemma Cosgriff was on honeymoon in Rwanda with husband Damien, enjoying a close encounter with a silverback gorilla. But this was a little bit too close.
Jimmy, you're good. You're okay. You're okay.
Thankfully, she saw the funny side. Katmai National Park in Alaska has the biggest concentration of grizzly bears in the world. But what would you do if a pack decided to join you for a stroll?
The mom and the cubs keep following me.
The expert's advice is don't run, stay calm, and whatever you do, don't turn your back on them.
So, I will keep walking backwards. Oh, come on, guys, give me a break.
And never turn your back on a hungry sea lion, either.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Oh, right. In a remote corner of Indonesia, nestled amongst 3,000 square miles of rainforest, is Bukit Loang, one of the last places on Earth where you can see orangutans in the wild. French-Canadian tourist Christelle Bro and her boyfriend Nicolas Allara were enjoying a guided tour when they came face to face with a 100-pound female.
I search all the time a new animal, yeah, because I really like animal. And this one, it's really big. It's like that, and you know, it's, I don't know the word in English, but it's just wow.
But this magical moment was about to take a terrifying twist. At first, the red-haired ape grabbed onto Nicolas, but when he pulled away, she took hold of Christelle's hand instead.
The first minute, I feel really calm and just, oh, wow, she's so beautiful, and she have a baby.
With only about 14,500 Sumatran orangutan remaining in the wild, getting up close to one is rare.
She pushed another orangutan down the hill, and after that I said, oh my God, it's possible she do that with me. And yeah, it's really scary.
A few minutes later, and the mother still hadn't let go, and Christelle realized the seriousness of her predicament.
She grabbed my arms really, really strong. She put her nails finger on my arms. And when I tried to leave, she grabbed my hand more stronger. And she tried to bite my hand.
These highly intelligent animals share 96% of our DNA and are on average 7 times stronger than a human.
The guide didn't know really what to do. They just tried to give her fruits and things like this, but with one hand, she was holding Christelle, and another hand, she was just taking all the food. She didn't want to let go. I tried to grab the hand of the orangutan to let her go, but nothing to do.
Not possible.
Hey!
She tried to eat my hand again.
No, you were starting to get scared.
Finally, the guides managed to distract the orangutan, and she moved away.
Yay! She left me. Oh, I'm crying. When she left me, I just began crying because, yeah, it's too much stress.
I told her, you still like the monkey now? And she said yes.
I love animals.
For those of us who like to live life to the full, capturing our mean feats on camera is par for the course, especially when that course is as extreme as this.
This daring paraglider flew literally by the seat of his pants as he skimmed the hills surrounding Lake Wanaka in New Zealand, inches from the ground. Skydiving instructor Jamie Lee clocked his way up to 75 miles per hour, making it pretty obvious why the pastime is called speed flying. Norwegian daredevil Richard Henriksen had a narrow escape when a base jumping stunt he was doing went horribly wrong. The father of 5 tumbled off the edge of a 4,000-foot cliff when his apparatus broke. Thankfully, Richard, who is a surgeon by day, was wearing a parachute, which undoubtedly saved his life. Lookout Mountain in Georgia is home to one of the largest hang gliding training centers in the States. A special ramp built into the cliff edge allows gliders to soar at heights of 3,000 feet. Local thrill seeker David Sparks was a regular visitor.
There's just something about it. When you stand up and run off the edge of a cliff, it's exhilarating. You're not sure you're getting too close to a tree. You know, there's a lot of adrenaline. But actually, after you run off and you're flying, it's very peaceful. And the scenery is beautiful because you're 2,000 or 3,000 feet above the ground, and it's just a great feeling.
After 10 minutes in the sky, David prepared to land in a nearby field.
This glider was my first one. I had just bought it. This was my 3rd flight on it, and it went faster and it responded to turns better. And I was still learning it. You can see as I come in, I make a left-hand turn, a U-turn, basically, to come in for my landing. At the time, I thought I was doing everything I was supposed to do. But with this glider, I really needed to go much further down and make that turn and have a longer runway before I came in.
David's miscalculation had knocked the novice dangerously off course.
Part of my problem was I was way too far to the left, but a lot of the problem was I just didn't have room to bleed off the speed. You'll see me reach up with my left hand and grab that bar. That's when I'm realizing something, you know, I'm too far to this side, and I shouldn't have reached up. But I'm starting to panic a little bit, and it's not helping the situation any.
Having lost control of the glider, David headed away from the landing strip and straight towards some holiday cabins.
Just at the last second, I ducked my head down because I realized I've got a helmet on. I may as well use it for what it's designed for. I don't want my face going into this thing.
Hey, Scott. I think I need to give up.
I'm laying there, and the first thing I think is, I'm not hurting. I should be hurting more. So I check and make sure I'm moving everything and all that is good. So I had a bruise here and here, and that was all I had. Broke my sunglasses. My wife has never seen this video. She refuses to look at it. Way down here.
But now, just for us, David's wife Wendy is about to watch the video for the very first time.
Well, I'm making this turn way too soon. I should be making that turn down there.
Oh,
See, there's lots of runway there that I'm ignoring. And here, I'm going too fast, and then it's coming down.
That's scary.
And I come down, and now I'm panicking. And then finally, I just ducked my head, and I hit that, yeah.
You do crazy things sometimes, but you always come out on top, so I think it's okay.
Yeah. I felt terribly lucky. Until I got out and we pulled the glider out and I looked at it and I was like, I just paid $2,300 for this and this is my third flight and it was totaled. So, but I would rather it take the brunt of the injury instead of me.
Still to come, a day trip to the seaside ends in a harrowing helicopter rescue.
So it's a horrendous experience that I never ever want to repeat, ever.
And all eyes are on an emotional birthday party.
What's special about color balloons? But if you haven't seen them the way they should be, it was something.
Sometimes there's nothing more exciting than an excursion to a local tourist attraction. But for the adventure seekers you're about to see, their day trip quickly turned into a nightmare. A 14-year-old girl was riding on a high-wire gondola at an amusement park in upstate New York when she slipped and was left hanging 25 feet above the ground. Unable to get back into her seat, the only way off was to take a leap of faith.
Oh my gosh, she's gonna...
Thanks to the teamwork of the crowd below, the girl escaped unharmed. An outing to a fair in North Carolina also turned into a scary ordeal when this Ferris wheel malfunctioned. 2 children were stuck inside one of the cabins, tilted precariously at 90 degrees.
My baby's crying!
A brave fairground worker climbs the wheel to try and rescue them. But then this happens. Thankfully, he sustained only minor injuries, and the children eventually made it safely off the ride. In September 2017, there was high drama closer to home, as Weymouth's Jurassic Skyline Tower became the setting for a dramatic rescue mission. What started as a fun day on the Dorset coast turned into something more like a scene from a disaster movie.
We got to the top all right, I spiraled to the top and everything seemed great, good views, everything. And then it starts reversing down and there's this enormous bang. My ears are ringing and I felt off balance. And the other people there were suffering as well.
A power failure had caused the gondola to grind to a halt, 120 feet in the air. There were 14 people trapped inside, including an 11-month-old baby.
The worst fear was, would it actually just drop down like a stone to the ground? We'd all be killed. People are getting really nervous up there, I tell you. They've phoned their relatives, because no one's going to be able to rescue us all up there. We were just stuffed, really. We couldn't know what to do.
2 hours into their ordeal, and the fire service appeared on the scene with a rescue platform. But it was agonisingly short of the required height.
The fireman came up the central tube and suggested winching us down to where the platform was, but I'm claustrophobic and I fear of heights as well, really, and there's no way could I have done that.
They'd been in the gondola for almost 5 hours, and with all other means of rescue having been ruled out by bad weather, Her Majesty's Coast Guard was called into action.
This sea life tower rescue was certainly out of the ordinary. This doesn't happen very often. The people were in no immediate danger because the thing was stuck, but obviously they'd had enough time up there and they were pretty keen to come out. We went and hovered right next to the top of the gondola, so we had to make sure that the flying is reasonably accurate and particularly smooth. One of the casualties was a young baby, so we felt that the baby was probably in distress, and like was the mother, so they should come off first.
They landed safely, and then other people went. You was told to keep your arms by your side and look up all the time. And I'm thinking, is this going to go all right? This is the dramatic moment when we actually got winched up to the helicopter. Oh, my God. We're swaying about quite a bit once we get clear of the tower. Oh, it's really, really frightening.
It took nearly 3 hours to winch all the passengers to safety, but by 10 p.m, their ordeal was finally over.
We've actually been up there 8 hours and 10 minutes. It's a hell of a long time. No food, no toilet facilities. So it's a horrendous experience that I never, ever want to repeat, ever.
And finally, thanks to devices like these, precious moments can be cherished for years to come.
Hello.
Like the time this baby heard her mother's voice for the very first time.
Hello.
3-month-old Charlotte Keane was born profoundly deaf.
I've never seen that face before.
But thanks to a pair of hearing aids...
Are you emotional? You're gonna make me cry.
her silence has been broken.
Hi. Use your little chin. Hi.
And the moment was captured on camera by her father, Daniel.
Yeah, are you gonna be emotional like your mama? Yeah. You're so sweet. Yeah. Yeah.
That expression on little Charlie's face says more than words ever could.
I love you. I love you.
Isabella Jennings was born without a lower left arm, but in 2015 received the extraordinary gift of a bionic prosthetic limb. According to the Bristol-based 9-year-old, the best thing was that she was now able to read heavy books. And her friends think it's pretty cool too. Back in the States, and 66-year-old Noel Stafford was thrown a party he'd never forget when his family came together to help with his visual impairment.
I have been colorblind all my life. I first discovered I had a problem when I was in grade school coloring a dog, and it colored it wrong. And I had some problems with that. It was picked on. The blue sky, people said it's blue, but it could be purple, and I wouldn't know it. I had to learn that traffic lights, the red's on top, green's on the bottom. So I had to make adjustments and deal with this growing up. Regarding help for me, there was none.
Roll on a few decades and all of that was about to change when Noel's son Derek came across a life-changing piece of equipment when browsing the internet.
I was laying in bed one night watching YouTube, and I came across some videos of people that were colorblind crying with these glasses, and I thought, what in the world is this? I thought, man, this is pretty interesting, because I knew Dad was colorblind, because growing up, he'd always have mismatched socks at church, and we always knew that was kind of a tough thing. So I called my sisters, and I said, hey, let's see what you think about these glasses. And they were kind of pricey, but we thought, let's all chip in, and let's do this for Dad's birthday.
Okay, it's happening, Amy.
It's happening now. Our family got together and presented this gift. I was opened up thinking it was a watch.
Color for the colorblind. I am colorblind.
Well, at first I thought, okay, these are nice glasses. And so I asked my son, I said, he was telling me what they were.
So Dad, these are special glasses. Your kids have been engineered that when people wear them that are colorblind, you get to see color just like we all see color. Oh my. I can put these on, and it'll see color like it was supposed to be. It'll like how we all see it.
Then I put them on, and then it really shocked me, like, wow. It made me think, why would he have these glasses years ago when I was a grade school kid? You know, it had been really a nice thing to have, you know.
It's so clear, I can't believe it.
When I saw the balloons, ordinary people think, What's special about colored balloons? There's nothing. But if you haven't seen them the way they should be, it was something. With the help of my son and my daughters, with this gift from them, it helped me, my eyes actually opened to things that they always saw and I never did see. And that's why it was just an emotional thing for me, like, really, what have I been missing all my life? You know?
Papa, look at the hat.
Oh, my God. The emotions that I felt were love from my family. What a blessing it was for me to actually see the right way things are, color-wise. It was the best gift I ever received from them.